Hey guys, Mark here from MCRCWA. Since I'm getting some stuff prepared for round one at the moment, I just thought I'd have a quick chat about quick change parts. So what quick change parts are the things that if you potentially have an accident on the day, you can quickly change out on your bike to get yourself back out and ready for the next race. Things like this would include bar ends with grips already on them, rear set parts, brake levers, clutch levers, etc. At the end of the video, I'll give you a quick list of what I would have on hand and also the additional things if you can afford to have those as spares. So one of the slowest things to change out and potentially a bit of a challenge when you are on the bike is putting a new grip on, a new bar end, if your bar end is bent or potentially has had an impact where you don't want to go right on it again. So for that, what you're going to need is a spare bar end, new grip or spare grip, some lock wire, and your lock wire pliers. I got the Loctite here as well because I use that to help slip them on because it will help the grip stick once it starts to dry out a bit. So to fit the new grip to your bike, all you need is your agent. You can use hairspray, you can use some deodorants will work quite well. There's a bunch of different fluids that will become sticky after a while. For me it's just Loctite because I got it here on hand. So I put a little bit of Loctite just inside the grip. I'm going to slip that on to the bar end. Like so. Going to make sure it's on in the right spot for where we want it. That will, as you can see, it's starting to stick already on the outside, not so much at the end, but it's sticking in the top at the moment, which is great. Right, so we've got our grip on there now. I'm pretty happy with how solid it is. But what we're going to do is just put some lock wire in the little gap here. Most of your grips these days, Renthal, Motion Pro, etc., will have essentially a little divot in there to allow us to put some lock wire and really secure that grip to the bar. That way, if any fluid, if it does rain or anything else in the wet, there's a lot less chance or potential for it to slide off. So all you have to do is wrap your lock wire around. I prefer twice, some people do 3 times, but just get it around enough that you're happy with it. Get your lock wire pliers onto the 2 strands. Make sure it sits within the ditch itself, like that. Oh, it's not there, there we are. And lock wire nice and tight. Now what you want to remember is when you're snipping this off, I'll get a spare set of snips for that, is just to make sure you can tuck the sharp end away because it can bind into your hands and that is a bit painful. Also for scrutineers, when they're grabbing onto your bars, there's potential they might get poked and start to bleed and they don't like that. So there's my lock wire on the brand new bar end and that's ready to go into my spare parts list. So when it comes to a spare parts list, it is really a right of preference as to what they'd like to carry. What I suggest to my team is to have a clip-on bar with no grip, and that one's for your throttle side, a clip-on bar with a grip for clutch side, a brake lever, a clutch lever, 2 foot pegs, a spare set of brake pads, a rear brake lever, and a gear shifter. Now, if you want to and you have the space in your trailer, optionals I'd suggest are a spare windscreen in case it cracks, a fairing set, and some frame crash protectors or engine crash protectors, potentially both if you have the money and space.